We ran in a couple times, they go over some people like, oh, that's not like, I'll check that out. Stuff like that, so it's still really for parents about that. You know, that's how you log in and sort of do lab. Hoping next Tuesday we'll do lab, but we'll just see if we get it, so. Next Monday, there will not be class, we have a frequent stuff actually in here. So, what should that mean? In conference. I mean, but they, I mean.
Happy President's Day.
Yeah, but. You're not agreeing with it. You're not agreeing with it. No, it's it's like it's on, but it's not really on. Yeah, it's a bit later. Okay, so far we've been talking about treatment planning in general, and we've talked about a lot of different aspects. We probably see this when we begin to blend to some degree. Some of the stuff that I start talking about kind of duplicative, and that's okay because that's kind of what treatment planning is. There are some commonalities across all different methods of treatment planning. And whether you're doing AI, whether you're doing IMRT, BMAT, 3D, stereotyping, whatever it might be, there's a lot of similarities. There's only different ways of doing calculations and some needs. So that's okay in some of this. Okay. We're going to talk in this about, what IMRT, what are the advantages, what advantages utilizing it, what are the disadvantages, BMAT, what are advantages, and what's next. So when I look at IMRT and BMAT, you're going to see people reference both, and you probably have seen some of that if you're spending time, maybe lab time in lab. The reality is IMRT is the same. There's no difference between the two. The method of delivery is what's changed. Okay, so IMRT is intensity modulated radiation therapy, and BMAT is volumetric modulated radiation therapy, or ARC therapy, excuse me. But they're all the same. They just go about delivering the dose in a different way. So they're still have the same core thing. What is the core behind IMRT? What is the difference between IMRT and 3D? I know there's modulation, but other than that, what is the core difference between those two treatment planning methods? So if somebody says I'm going to do an IMRT plan, I'm going to do or I'm going to do a 3D plan. What's the difference? We're going to accomplish it in IMRT, not accomplish it. Yeah, you probably would have a low dose rate, but there'd be something else more fundamental. Yes, how's that occur? What are we doing? Using MLC leaves. So think about it this way. I'm getting pretty close. IMRT is inverse optimization. Okay, so we're going backwards. When we deal with an IMRT plan, we're telling the computer what we want through a series of objectives and constraints and values associated with it. In 3D, we don't do that, right? We draw a block. Block goes in place, you deliver the radiation, and you get kind of what you get. That's 3D. So in 3D, we're saying we're going to deliver, 180 centigrade per fraction on this particular patient. These are the blocks, and this is the dose distribution. Love it or not, there's nothing to do. So IMRT said, no, we're gonna come back on that, and we're gonna say now we're gonna inverse it. We're gonna say this is what you want. This is the end result. We want the bladder to get this. We want the rectum to get this. We want the seminal vesicles to get this. We want the prostate, femoral head. We're gonna tell you everything we want you to do. Then you're gonna work backwards to tell us what we need to actually do to deliver. So it's called an inverse optimization. So anytime you see any deal with BMAT, IMRT, it is an inverse optimization. It is a backwards working of an algorithm to go say, given these, this is in a perfect world, this is what I want my plan to look like. Now go back and tell me what I got to do to make that happen.
the truth is, the vast majority of the time, you'll never have it. You'll always have to take some trade-offs, right? Because there are physical limitations of machine, feed, dose rate, game speed, and overall just be able to where you put dose. We talked about this before. Dose has to go somewhere. Okay, doctors have a hard time understanding some of them. I either make the center of the tumor really, really hot, or I begin to spray that dose out, make the lower dose area a little bit higher, and then make the heat a little bit less in the middle of the prostate, where you can possibly an example. But that's just the reality of it. I've got to put the dose some. So when people, you'll understand this more as you get into planning, no matter what you do, it can't disappear. A lot of times doctors say, oh, that's too hot before. It's like, okay, well, let me lower that. No, I don't like that lower dose now. It's a little too far out there. You can't have it both ways. It's got to go somewhere. So, what we talk about is you find what you want, computer optimizes in order to meet criteria. And we just talk about how is that different 3D. Now you're all experts on that. And how does weighting affect on it? Is weighting even relative to IMR2? So remember we talked about beams for like 3D, like a crossing maybe 30, 30, 20, 20 on the femoral, or maybe 25 all the way around. If you're doing a 5 kilo line RT, do you weight each beam? Would you assign a weighted value to it? Would they have a lot on that? Sure you would. Or some beams that are more likely to at least be closer to where the functions. Right, for some they're closer than others. So does anybody think you're going to assign a weight, or will the algorithm assign a weight?
The algorithm may find where it's with person's value separate.
Yeah, so the weighting is still relevant. I mean, it's you need it, you need to be concerned about it. However, it's not the end all be all anymore, because the algorithm's going to determine what beam needs to have some dose in it. You can sit there and say, I've got a 7 field, or let's say a 5.7. And like, that one beam there doesn't have a lot of weight in it. When you increase the weight, that affects optimization, right? I mean, it's going to say now I'm delivering more dose